بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أنا المدرس المساعد محمد حاصل على شهادة الماجستير من جامعة الموصل كلية الآداب قسم اللغة الإنجليزية فرع الأدب. اليوم محاضرتنا راح ناخذ أحد عناصر الأدب الإنجليزي اللي هي القصة القصيرة، وراح نشرح عناصرها اللي هي المحاضرة إن شاء الله راح تكون خلال نصف ساعة. So let's start with our lecture. The beginning of our lecture we have to know the title of our lecture, which is the elements of short story. In Arabic هي عناصر القصة القصيرة. من ايش تتكون القصة القصيرة؟ ما هي مكونات القصة القصيرة؟ ان شاء الله راح نتعرف عليهم من خلال محاضرتنا لهذا اليوم. So before starting our lecture, we have to know table of contents, which are general information, introduction, learning objectives, short video, and etc. etc. Now we have general information, which are the target group, which is the second year university student. The duration of our lecture is 30 minutes and etc. You can read them later. Now we have the introduction, مقدمة. What is a short story? A short story is a brief work of fiction that focuses on a single event or character. So this is the function of the short story, which is focuses on one main event or main character. اللي هي تاخذ حدث واحد أو شخصية واحدة، لأن هي شنو؟ هي short story. It is not alone, not as a novel. The novel is bulky, while the short story, it can maybe with 10 pages or 15 pages. It's from 1,000 to 10,000 words. Not as the novel. The novel has many events, many characters, many themes, and etc. etc. While the short story is from its title, short, قصيرة. It can be read in 1 second. تقدر تقراها قاعدة واحدة بجلسة واحدة لمدة ممكن نصف ساعة تقرأ short story. While the novel means maybe a month, a week, and so on. The short story is the easiest literary form. Is the easiest literary form to be analyzed and teach, not as a novel or drama or other types of literary work. So in this presentation, we will learn the key elements that shape any short story. So any short story, أي قصة قصيرة يجب أن تحتوي على هذه العناصر اللي سوف ناخذها إن شاء الله بهذه المحاضرة. Learning objective. So by the end of this, I want you to define the short story, تعرف القصة القصيرة, identify the elements, and distinguish between the elements and apply these elements of the short story. So I want you to tell me what is a short story. شنو هي القصة القصيرة؟ تعرفونها؟
Short story deals about one event.
One event, yes, excellent.
One person.
Yes, one character, yes, yes. Another one? Yes, good. I want you to just listen to... So, the short story is a brief fiction traditional narrative focusing on one main event and a few characters. So the short story, it's a brief narrative. brief مختصر موجز مو نفس الرواية. الرواية تاخذ أكثر من كتاب وتاخذ أكثر من مواضيع وتحكي كثير وتاخذ من عندنا ربما أسابيع أو شهر لأن نخلص نقرأ، لأن هي تكون ثخينة، تكون كبيرة، مواضيعها كثيرة، مواضيعها أوسع. تاخذ ما مثل الشورت ستوري، it takes one main event and a few characters. As we said, it can be read in one sitting. One sitting. Yes, جلسة واحدة تقرأ الشورت ستوري. So I want you to listen carefully to this video.
Hello friends and welcome back to our channel. Ever wondered what makes a story so exciting? Why do we laugh, gasp, and cheer while we read? Stories transport us to different worlds, making us feel like we're part of the adventure. Today we're discovering the secret ingredients of a fantastic story. Get ready to explore the 5 elements that make every story a thrilling ride.
Are you curious about where our story takes place? Where does our story take place? Is it a magical castle, a jungle filled with talking animals, or maybe even outer space? The setting is like the backdrop of our story. It paints a picture in our minds and helps us imagine the world where the story happens. Can you feel how the setting makes the story more exciting?
Am I the only one that didn't know how important characters are in this story? Each one has a unique personality, a special role to play. Just like we need friends to play with. Characters are the heart of the story. They can be brave heroes, mischievous animals, or even talking trees. Think about your favourite story. Who are the characters that make it so special? See? Characters make the story come alive.
If you're a storyteller, then you need to hear this. The next element is conflict. This is where things get really interesting. Just like a roller coaster is full of ups and downs, twists and turns. Every good story needs a problem, a challenge, or a mystery to solve. It's what makes the journey exciting and keeps us engaged.
Next up, resolution to the rescue. I bet you didn't know how important resolution is in a story. This is where the problem is solved and things start to fall into place. The resolution is like a big sign of the meaning.
So, my question is that, what are the elements of short story? What? Plot. Excellent. Another one?
Characters.
Characters. Excellent. And? Settings. Excellent. And? Yes. Excellent. So let's start with the first one, is the plot. What is the plot? The plot طبعا هي الحبكة. أي قصة، أي رواية، أي عمل ببلوت. البلوت احنا نسميها باللغة العربية الحبكة. ما هي الحبكة؟ The plot is how the author arranges events. كيف هو يرتب الأحداث. It's to develop the basic idea. So the idea starts from basic and develops through the events of the story or the novel or any literary work. So it is the sequence of event in the story. Sequence of event. تسلسل الأحداث. It's a start from beginning, middle and end. Beginning, middle and end. Every plot should have a beginning, middle and end. So the plot also have a structure. What is the structure of the plot? We have exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and the resolution. So my question is that, what is the exposition of the plot? Who knows?
The beginning of events.
Yes, excellent. It's the beginning of the short story. when we introduce to character, to the place, time, عندما يبين لنا عندما نتعرف على الشخصيات، عندما نتعرف على بداية القصة هي exposition. It's the beginning, the starting of any literary work. So look at the rising action. Rising action, how zigzag. What does it mean? This zigzag. What's the meaning of this zigzag, of the diagram of the plot?
The upgrading of the actions, the upgrading of events.
Yes, excellent, excellent. This is according to the protagonist. A protagonist, when he faces problems, yes, the problems are the obstacles of the story with the antagonist. دائما الانتاجونست يكون ضد البروتاغونست. He opposes him. So in the rising action, the events got complicated against the protagonist. Here, so the climax, what's the climax? Is the top. It's between the rising action and falling action. So what does it mean, this climax?
The point of the beginning, ending events.
Yes, excellent. Another one. شو تعني لكم هاي الكلايمكس؟ اللي هي القمة مال البلوك. هي turning point of the story. نقطة تحول القصة. شنو معنى نقطة تحول القصة؟ Look how here is the problem, obstacles, etc., etc., against the protagonist. While the falling action, how straight is the line? طريق عدل. تبدي الأمور تتحلحل. بالفولنج اكشن تبدي العراقيل، تبدي المشاكل، يبدي الانتصارات مال البروتاغونست. هنا حتى ايش؟ يفتح طريق للنهايه. يفتح طريق لنهايه القصه، تمام؟ اذا the falling action is when a problem resolves. Okay? And the resolution is the end of the short story or any literary work, right? So let's take another part or element, which is the characters. What are the characters? The character is individual who takes part in the story. So we have can we have another kind of human being of character? أكو شخصيات يعني غير الإنسان، لا بس الإنسان نقدر نأخذه كشخصيات في الأعمال الأدبية. ممكن. What are they? So human being and the other one is animal. We can take a character as an animal, like the animal farm. Which is written by George Orwell, right? Another one of character is a creature. We can take a creature as a character, such as what? Have you ever seen or read about a speaking tree? Yes, of course. Yes, 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 of course. And so the individual is who takes a part in the story. They can main or minor. So we have main and minor. We have the main, which is the protagonist and antagonist. The protagonist who is hero. هو بطل القصة دائما يكون البروتاغونست. Look at the picture. The protagonist always be a good person. Always he is a good person. So from this picture, who is the protagonist? From the right or left? Yes, from the left one, he is the protagonist. From his shape, we know that he is a protagonist. While the antagonist who opposes the protagonist, who is a villain. Always, always, the antagonist is a villain. He opposes the antagonist. زي عندنا الهيرو اللي هو بطل القصة دائما يكون الانتاجونست دائما يكون ضده، واحد ضد الآخر. طبعا بالبداية الانتاجونست ياخذ مساحة وممكن يأذي وممكن هو نتوقعه راح يفوز، لكن بالفولينج اكشن اللي حكينا عنها يبدأ البروتاغونست هو دائما ينتصر على الانتاجونست، سواء كان بشر او طبيعة او الى اخره. هسه ان شاء الله راح ناخذها. عندنا ايضا نوع من الكاركترز who are the minor character. Those are the protagonist and antagonist are the main, and the other one is the minor. The minor we have flat and round. What are the differences between the flat and round characters?
That is steady, stable.
I mean the character.
Yeah, stable. The same character.
Yes, the same character who doesn't develop throughout the story. He stays the same. From the beginning of the story to the end, he doesn't develop. While the round character who develops throughout the story, such as in Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre, who when she enters the Red Room, she enters as a child, and she the Red Room as a mature. دخلت جين إير دخلت الغرفة الحمراء اللي عاقبتها فيها عمتها كطفلة، وخرجت من الريد روم كبالغة. طبعا هي ما بالعمر، هي بالتفكير وباتخاذ القرارات والى اخره. فهذه هي يسموها dynamic character. She develops, she enters as a child and she outside as a mature. Let's start with the other one, which is a conflict. ما هي الكونفليكت أو الصراعات اللي تمر داخل القصة؟ What is a conflict? A conflict always becomes a struggle between opposite forces. So we should have opposite forces of the conflict. دائما يتصارعون الاثنين وواحد من عندهم لازم ينتصر. So we have two types, internal and external. اللي هو خارجي وداخلي. الانترنال كونفليكت شو الشخصية يصير عنده internal conflict اللي هو صراع داخلي. Yes, excellent thinking. So it's be in his mind. بتفكيره دائما حتى احنا لما نتخذ قرارات راح يصير عندنا صراع داخلي، ممكن ننجح ممكن ننسى، ممكن نربح ممكن نخسر. فهذه هي الصراعات الداخلية اللي تكون دائما نسميها internal conflict اللي دائما تكون على الشخصية. So the struggle within a character's mind دائما داخل تفكير الشخصية. It's for example emotions and decisions في اتخاذ القرارات وفي مشاعرها. عندنا external conflict صراعات خارجية. هذه الشخصية راح يتصارع مع هذه الأشكال اللي هي character against character or opposite a character, which is the protagonist and antagonist, right? Another one, character versus society. How? Who knows?
When the character wants to change the rules or norms of this society.
Yes, excellent. When he struggled to be against a society, norms or rules or anything. Character versus nature. How? شلون يكون الشخصية ضد الطبيعة؟
When struggles against the flood or maybe storms or something.
Yes, excellent. Storm, rain, and another thing. And the last one, character versus fate. It is destiny.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's start with another one, which is the importance of the conflict. So what is the importance of the conflict in the short story or any literary work?
Sequence of events that attracts the reader or the...
Yes, it attracts the reader. Excellent. So its function is to develop the plot. Do you remember the diagram of a plot? It's a start from exposition to rising action to plot to yes, excellent climax to rising action and the resolution of the end. So this is the development of the plot, the development of the plot. So it leads to climax and resolution. Look, it means the conflict leads to the climax and resolution. Another element which is very important is the setting. What is the setting?
Time and place.
Time and place. It means that
Where and when?
yes, excellent. It means that where and when. So the when relates to time and where relates to place. Right? So the time and location, which is story, takes place. The time. Now, during the day, the last year, maybe relates to our century. Everything related to time we can and to place. Maybe here in our class school. Yes, school, a palace, a ship. Any place we can. So the place influences the atmosphere and the mood of the short story.
غير الجو.
نعم يغير الجو. نعم يأثر على الجو أو المود مع الشخص طبعا وتأثر the character's behavior. تتأثر على شخصية التصرفات الشخصية. شلون؟ عندما واحد خلينا نشوف واحد يكون ببيئة مجرمة راح يتأثر ولا لا؟ راح يكون بيئة مثقفة راح تكون يتأثر ولا لا؟ فهذا طبعا التايم and setting affects the character's behavior. Another one we will take is the theme. What is the theme?
Central idea.
The central idea, yes.
The message.
The message, yes, excellent, is the message of the author. The author has a message and he wants to deliver this message to us. How? By his pen. He writes down a story about what he wants to tell us. Maybe he wants to tell us about love, about loss, about society, about religion, about love, about anything he wants. So he has a message. الكاتب المؤلف عنده رسالة يريد يوصل لنا هي عن طريق مواضيع الأدبية اللي يكتب عنها. عنده فد رسالة داخله ما يجينا واحد يحكي لنا هي بينما هو يكتب شورت ستوري أو نوفل أو أي عمل أدبي من خلاله يوصل لنا أفكاره. So, is the idea هي الفكرة or a message or a رسالة of the story? So, these often explore universal human experiences. إذا هي لهم علاقة ب human experiences. تمام؟ Such as مثل love. What kind of love we can have in literature?
Between a human like son and dad.
Yes, excellent. Between son and dad, which is a parents. Of parents.
Friends.
Between friends, excellent. A friendship.
Between human and animals.
Yes, excellent. Between man and woman also. So this is a kind of a loss. Also, we can have many things about loss of country, loss of anything, also identity. Now we have a point of view. Have you ever asked yourself who is the narrator of the story, or who is telling the story? حكيتوا مع نفسكم من هو اللي يقول لنا يحكي لنا الستوري القصة؟
The author?
The author?
No.
Another one?
The narrator.
He's the narrator. Excellent. So, let's start with what is the point of view. The point of view is the perspective from which the story is told. Is the perspective is which from the story is told. We have common types, also we have etc. But I take 3 types of this point of view of the style of narration. The first one is first person. First person when the author writes I. As he talks about himself. I go to market, I go to my house, I drive, I meet my friend, and another thing. And also he uses a pronoun we. So the author in this kind of this type of narration, he uses first person. Another one is a second person. عندما يكون الخطاب لك كأنما هو يخاطبك. He uses you see, you go, you. دائما طبعا هذا نادر الاستخدام. Another one is the third person. A third person, when an author writes about he, she, they, he uses this pronoun, which is the omniscient narration. What is the omniscient narration?
The narrator knows everything about the characters.
Yes, excellent. طبعا الأومنيسينت ترجمة لها هي العالم بكل شيء. وكأنما الناريتر راوي القصة يعلم كل الشخصيات. طبعا ما أكو داخلي. The omniscient, the narrator knows thoughts and feeling. يعرف شخصيات ما يدير بداخل مشاعرهم وأفكارهم وإلى آخره. So I have a question. I want you to write down which element is the most important. 1 minute, please.
Okay.
Which is the most important element you learn from our lecture, and does the setting change the meaning of the story? In 1 minute, please. Yes, time is over. Thank you for your answer. Keep the paper with you, and I will ask you, we will discussion your answer. Yes, Mr. Muhammad, what did you choose?
I choose sitting.
Sitting, yes, why?
Because when we change the sitting, everything will change.
Yes, excellent. Good answer. So, Mr. Muhammad chooses a setting, another one?
What?
Climax.
Yes, climax. Yes, good. The climax is the turning point of the plot in the layer. So, for me, the elements are related one to other. دائما هذول العلاقة بيناتهم يتحدون يكونون عمل أدبي. زي كان we Without characters?
No.
Without setting? No. We cannot have, so one is helping the other, or one completes the other. And of course, the setting is changing the meaning. I want you to use your mobile. استخدموا موبايلكم وجاوبوني على هذا السؤال. اقرأ، يعني طبعا السؤال اللي جاوبوني هو على الكلاس روم اللي هي هاي اللينك مالها والكيو ار مالتها. اقرأ هاي قصة قصيرة واذكر لكم يعني بتسهيل الامر the gift of the Maggie. انت تقدر تجاوب عن غير قصة تحدد لي الاليمنتس مالتها تناقشهم او تشرحهم مثل ما احنا شرحناهم بهذه المحاضرة. So now the conclusion. The conclusion, we know the elements of the short story. We talked about one by one and what are their function, and we know them one by one and their role. So now, in references, you can read them down, and thank you so much for your attending and your subscription with me. I appreciate you. شكرا لكم.